You know that feeling, right? When you're just drowning in tasks and think, okay, something's got to give.
Oh, absolutely. Happens to everyone, especially when things start to scale up.
Exactly. So today, we're going to dive deep into something lots of folks are wrestling with.
Mm.
How do you actually delegate effectively?
Hmm.
We're zooming in on that choice between AI automation and hiring a virtual assistant, a VA.
It's a really timely topic.
Totally. Think of this as like your guide to the pros and cons, the real deal. So you can figure out the best path for your growth, your budget, and honestly, just getting some time back.
Yeah, finding that sweet spot. Because look, AI is moving incredibly fast, tons of potential there.
For sure.
But, that human connection, that specific kind of support, still super important. So our mission here is kind of cut through the hype,
Right.
give you a practical look at when to use which tool, or maybe how to use both together for something even better.
Okay, good plan. So let's level set first. When we say AI automation, what are we actually talking about for someone
Mm.
listening who's maybe heard the term but isn't totally sure?
Sure. Think of it like this. You've got this really smart software, right? And it takes over those tasks that just suck up your time day after day.
Okay.
And it's not just dumb software following rules. Modern AI, it learns, it adapts, like handling customer emails automatically, sorting them, even responding,
Ah,
or instantly figuring out if a website lead is actually worth pursuing, managing your whole appointment calendar without you playing email tag.
wow.
Or, chatbots giving quick answers to common questions. It's all about handling the predictable stuff, but intelligently.
Gotcha. So super efficient digital helper, always on for routine things. Cool. Then the other side,
Mm-hmm.
the virtual assistant, the VA. What's the core idea there?
Right. So a VA is a real person. They work remotely. Providing support could be admin stuff, tax stuff, creative work. Exactly. The human element is key. A good VA brings creativity. They understand nuance. They can offer actual empathy.
Right.
They can handle really complex scheduling, dig deep into research for you, write engaging posts for social media, or deal with tricky client situations that need that personal touch.
Okay, so we're basically comparing smart software built for efficiency against a real human offering flexible skills and that, well, human connection.
That's a great way to put it.
Let's put them head to head then. What are the big differences when you stack them up? Operationally, what they offer.
Okay, well, the first, most obvious one is probably availability.
Right.
Your AI automation, once it's set up, it's running 24/7, doesn't need weekends off, doesn't sleep,
Always there.
always. A VA, being human, has working hours, limited by their schedule, time zone, all that.
Makes total sense. Okay, money. Always a factor.
Right.
How do the costs usually break down?
Yeah, good question. AI automation generally tends to be a lower, more predictable cost, often a flat monthly fee, maybe based on how much you use it. A VA, that cost can vary a lot, actually. Depends on their skills, experience, how many hours you need, if it's hourly or a retainer. Usually, it's going to be a medium to higher investment compared to the AI tools.
Right, more variables. And what about growth? If things suddenly take off or you need to adjust, how easy is it to scale each one?
That's where AI really shines. Scaling with AI is pretty much instant and almost unlimited.
Really?
Yeah, if you suddenly get slammed with customer emails or need to process way more data, the AI just handles it. No sweat.
Wow.
With a VA, scaling means they need more capacity. So you either hope they have more hours available or you got to hire more VAs, which takes time, management effort.
Yeah, adds complexity. Imagine a marketing campaign just explodes.
Exactly. The AI handles that surge easily. A VA might get overwhelmed without backup.
Speed. How fast do they get stuff done?
AI is built for speed. If the task is defined, boom, it's done. Almost instantly. A VA's speed depends on the task, their workflow. Human speed, basically. Some things AI does in seconds could take a person minutes, maybe hours.
And consistency.
Yeah.
Making sure things are done the same way every time. That's important.
Hugely important. And with AI, you get like 100% consistency, as long as it's set up right.
Okay.
It follows the rules, no deviation, doesn't get tired, doesn't have a bad day.
Uh-huh.
A VA, super reliable usually, but, there can be small variations. They're human.
Right, human factor.
Okay.
Okay, what about personalization? Building relationships, especially with customers. How do they compare there?
Yeah. This is where VAs really stand out. That human nature means real empathy, tailoring responses in a very nuanced, personal way.
Hmm.
AI can learn preferences, adapt a bit, sure, but it lacks that true emotional intelligence to navigate complex human stuff.
So like handling a really sensitive client issue.
Exactly. A skilled VA can handle that beautifully, read between the lines. AI would likely struggle with that kind of subtlety.
It really sounds like the type of task is the biggest decider here.
Absolutely. If it's super repetitive, rule-based, logic-driven, needs speed and consistency, AI is probably your best bet.
Okay,
But if it needs creativity, judgment, critical thinking, that human touch, then you're looking at a VA.
makes sense. What about getting started, the effort involved in setting them up?
Good point. AI usually needs an initial setup. Connecting software, defining the rules, the parameters, might need some technical know-how or help.
Right?
Training a VA, that's more about onboarding, explaining your processes, setting expectations, maybe creating some guides or SOPs so they know exactly how you want things done. More hands-on initially, perhaps.
Okay. And finally, risk. Errors, mistakes. Where's the higher risk?
Well, for those routine tasks AI is designed for, the error risk is generally pretty low, assuming it's set up and maintained correctly.
Okay.
With VAs, again, they're human, generally very reliable, but there's a slightly higher chance of human error creeping in, though good training and clear communication minimize that a lot.
Got it. Okay. That side by side is super helpful. So
Yeah.
taking all that on board, when should someone really lean towards AI automation first?
AI becomes like a total game changer when you need to scale fast, when you need to slash the time spent on manual, repetitive work.
Hmm.
And if you need that consistent 24/7 operation, if you or your team are just bogged down in routine stuff that doesn't need deep thinking, prime time for AI.
Freeing people up for bigger things.
Exactly. Imagine your sales team not having to manually type every single note into the CRM.
Oh, yeah.
They can actually spend that time talking to people, closing deals. That's the power.
Can you give a few more concrete examples?
Yeah.
Where does AI really knock it out of the park?
Totally. Think automatic appointment booking and confirmation emails. No back and forth.
Nice.
Instant answers to FAQs on your website. 204/7 customer support for basic queries.
Okay.
Automatically qualifying leads based on criteria you set. Sending out automated follow-up sequences to nurture leads.
Yeah.
And just logging tons of data automatically into your CRM or other systems. These are areas where AI just brings massive efficiency and cost savings over time.
So it's really about that speed, the cost effectiveness, handling volume, without just throwing more people at routine tasks.
Precisely. We've got clients at SGQ, for example, who've automated like up to 80% of their old admin workload with AI.
80%. Wow.
Yeah. They literally call their AI systems their most scalable team member because it handles more work without needing a raise or a bigger desk or breaks. It really changes their growth potential.
That's pretty compelling.
Yeah.
Okay, flip side. When is hiring a VA
Mhm.
still the absolute right move?
A VA is the strategic choice when tasks need that human spark. Creativity, complex problem solving, emotional intelligence, really personalized interactions.
How about?
If you're managing delicate client relationships where nuance is everything, that's VA territory.
Mhm.
Creating unique, engaging content, doing deep research that requires analysis and critical thought, or just needing flexible help for a whole range of non-routine things that pop up. A VA is probably your better investment there.
So crafting that perfect response to a tricky customer complaint, maybe.
Exactly. Or developing a really unique marketing angle for a niche audience
Yeah.
that needs human insight. AI isn't writing your next viral blog post yet.
Good point. So it's those times where the human element isn't just nice to have, it's essential for the outcome.
Precisely. Especially for businesses built on high-touch service or roles needing serious discretion, making judgment calls with incomplete info, adapting on the fly.
Yeah.
The human skills of a VA are just irreplaceable there, building real rapport, understanding unspoken needs that leads to stronger loyalty, better results in those cases.
Makes total sense.
Right.
But is it always either? Could you actually use both, combine their strengths?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, for a lot of businesses, probably most businesses looking to optimize, the best approach is often a hybrid one.
Oh.
Strategically combining AI automation and a human VA lets you get the best of both worlds. Assign tasks to whoever or whatever is best suited.
I like the sound of that. Can you kind of paint a picture? How would a hybrid system actually work?
Sure. Imagine a business using, say, a voice AI, like AVA from SGQ. It handles the first wave of calls, asks qualifying questions, maybe schedules simple appointments automatically.
Frontline stuff.
Exactly. high-volume, routine interactions handled efficiently by the AI. But then they also have a VA.
Okay.
And that VA focuses on, say, writing in-depth blog content, managing complex projects needing coordination, giving that extra personalized support to VIP clients.
Ah, I see. So the AI handles the repetitive, maybe high volume intake,
Yep.
freeing up the human VA for the more complex, strategic, or relationship-focused work.
You got it. That blend gives you AI's efficiency, scalability, and cost-effectiveness for certain tasks,
Mm-hmm.
while still having the VO's flexibility, creativity, and human touch for others. It's about finding that perfect balance where tech and talent work together.
Okay, cool. So we've looked at strengths, weaknesses, and this hybrid potential. For someone listening now, trying to figure out their best path, what questions should they ask themselves to kind of guide that decision?
Yeah, definitely some key questions. First off, how much time are you or your team spending on repetitive, predictable tasks right now?
Good one.
Tasks that don't really need creativity, are they blocking you from focusing on bigger picture stuff?
Yeah.
Do you need to scale up capacity without just hiring more and more people for routine work? Do you need 24/7 responsiveness for certain things?
Okay.
If the answer is yes to a lot of those, then seriously looking into AI automation is probably a really smart move.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And what about the questions that point more towards needing a VA?
Right. So does your work involve tasks that just need creativity, critical thinking, nuanced judgment, highly personalized interaction?
Mm-hmm.
If yes, that strongly points to needing a BA. Also, do you need flexible, adaptable human support for varied tasks that pop up?
Right. Not just one specific thing.
Exactly. And is providing that high-touch, personalized experience absolutely core to your brand and how you deal with clients? Then a VA is likely the better fit.
Okay. And for someone thinking, maybe hybrid is for me, what are the clues in their workflow?
If you look at your workload and see both things happening, a big chunk of routine tasks slowing you down and crucial strategic stuff needing a human touch or creative thinking,
Yeah.
then that hybrid approach is definitely worth exploring seriously. It's recognizing you have needs best met by both AI efficiency and human skill, and then dividing up the work smartly.
That decision framework is super useful. Now, you mentioned SGQ earlier. If listeners are intrigued by the AI automation side, what does SGQ actually offer?
So SGQ focuses on helping businesses, especially smaller ones and entrepreneurs, set up what they call agentic AI automation systems.
Agentic.
Yeah, meaning the AI acts more like a dedicated agent or team member for specific roles, but with all the AI advantages, speed, consistency, scalability. They offer things like AI voice assistants that can actually handle phone calls, qualify leads on the phone, sophisticated website bots for lead gen, smart follow-up systems to nurture leads automatically.
Gotcha.
The big goal is helping businesses automate, potentially up to 80% of that routine stuff,
Right.
freeing up serious time like 10 plus hours a week, often, and letting them grow faster without needing tons of new hires for those repetitive jobs.
And if someone's thinking, okay, AI sounds good, but where do I start? What's a good first step with a company like SGQ?
They offer something called a free automation roadmap. It's basically a starting point.
Okay.
It helps you look at your business, identify where automation makes the most sense, figure out which tasks are ripe for AI delegation,
Right.
and it gives you a strategic plan for scaling efficiently, whether that's pure AI or maybe that hybrid model with VA support too. It
Yeah.
just provides clarity and a path forward.
Excellent. So wrapping this all up, it really boils down to understanding your specific needs, right? The tasks you need done. AI is incredibly powerful for efficiency, scaling routine work. VAs bring that irreplaceable human element for complexity, creativity, connection, and often, maybe the smartest play is using both strategically.
Absolutely. It's not about one answer fits all. It's about making an informed choice based on your goals, your reality, the work that needs doing.
That's a great summary. So for everyone listening, the challenge now is to really look hard at your own tasks. Where are the bottlenecks? What's eating your time without adding huge strategic value?
Yeah.
Could an AI handle that smoothly? Or do you really need that human insight, that VA touch for your more complex goals? That self-check is key.
Definitely the first step.
Maybe now's the time to actually explore some specific AI tools or start looking into finding a great VA, the potential to really change how you work. It's right there.